I am going to do some Pillar Chase 2 hot takes. Now, this video was in the process for 1 to 2 days, I'm pretty sure, and y'all were supposed to submit your hot takes, and I got a couple of results, and I hope this video won't be too long, and I'll be going over each of one of y'all hot takes. And feel free to also come up with other hot takes if you want to join my Discord server. My Discord server is right here on the screen if you want to join. It's usually there for talking and hanging out and talking about games, whatever makes you feel comfortable to talk about. But yeah, we in there basically 24/7, but it's not that active, but we're gonna get active, trust me. But without further ado, I'm gonna read some of y'all hot takes. Okay, starting with the first hot take. This person said the overhaul really killed Pillar Chase 2. I will have to agree on that, since there's not a lot of players playing the game, since the game hasn't necessarily updated in a long time despite the AU changes. But yeah, the overhaul is what really ruined Pillar Chase 2's gameplay, as survivors are more stronger in a sense. I mean, there's some monsters that are strong, not survivors are not going to be strong, but there's some monsters that are strong too, but they could easily counter the monster by just using energy bursts and just get away easier. Now, I think some of the other abilities are kind of niche, so some certain abilities are just powerful, like energy bursts. Like I stated, you pretty much don't even need to have any skill. And sliding is also what makes the game really unfair, because it wastes a lot of stamina, yeah, but they could just easily use it with no effort and get away. It's just really annoying to go against, and a lot of monsters don't have a lot of mobility, so it's kind of hard to catch up to those kinds of sweats. And especially with Wisp, since Wisp is like really slow and has like high stamina drain, he could just easily be so loopable. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying on that. Canon Event says PCX used to be balanced. Now, I'm kind of have to disagree a little bit on that. When PCX first released, I mean, he wasn't strong in terms of the strongest monster in the game. It was pretty impossible to get away from, despite how bad he was during his first release. And back then, his final act was really unfair, so I really would not say he was balanced back then. The player can just easily just not use final act and use it as a way to just catch up to the survivors. So I'm going to have to disagree with you on that. Neutral Toaster says, hot take, not enough Wisp skins. Now, this is where I have to draw the line, because Wisp has skins that came out during the current Pillar Chase 2. He has basically all the skins you could say. Only killer that I say that hasn't had a new skin for God knows how long is Baldi. Nobody talks about Baldi. Baldi barely has any skins in the game. He doesn't even have any new skins. Even some of the new monsters don't even have any new skins. Of course, they're not gonna have any new skins because Blade is working on the recode, but Baldi didn't even have a new skin in like months, and nobody isn't even talking about it. Wisp actually had new skins. Baldi only had new skins during like Christmas, probably like Christmas. Yeah, during the Christmas event, that's like the only new skins Baldi had, and that was pretty much it. Blade just forgot Baldi, but he was able to nerf Baldi to the ground, which kind of made his gameplay insufficient. I'll have to definitely disagree on that hot take. Epic Bear Gaming says Fogboard Inkfell are equally as good. Now, I have to agree on that, honestly, because they're both one of the more powerful characters, and a lot of people said that Inkfell sucks, but have to disagree on that too, because Inkfell does not suck. Pretty much everybody just mimics Inkfell, saying that he sucks due to his speed and the fact that his puddles kind of sink down once in a while. I mean, he's still powerful even when the puddles sink down. He still does good damage, and here when I talk about his speed right now, he's so slow that he can barely even catch up. But the whole point of Inkfell is to be slow, because it would be unfair, since Inkfell already has stuff to stop you and slow you down, and he also has mobility where he could catch up, which is also his main factor of his slowness. So, and here's a counter to Inkfell. All you gotta do is hide from Inkfell. He can't even track you down, so if you're having trouble with Inkfell, at least try to hide from him because he cannot see you unless if you step on a puddle. What do people not understand? Inkfell is an unbalanced character in the current Pillar Chase 2 still. He'll always be unbalanced in this current state. Shoot, even after all the nerfs Blade tried to do to Inkfell, he's still powerful. Fogborn, on the other hand, just, you already know, like, he's just not escapable. Escape is near impossible. He can just freaking thunder warp towards you, teleport in front of you, and it's just GG's. Like, you could try to weave and bop all you want, but Fogborn will still catch up and he will get you. And honestly, if these two were in a duo, we would honestly just be dead. Like, it's just a death sentence. So I definitely have to agree. I'll explain less on this. So the Shadow Game said, I got two. Number one, people underestimate how powerful a good Rosemary player can be, as she is far from being the weakest monster in the game. Number two, the game was so much fun without upgrades, and it is just an unbalanced mess. Some good / fun killers being turned into one of the worst and most unfun. I'm looking at you, Jeff. Start up with number one. I'm gonna honestly have to agree on that, with people saying that Rosemary is just a bad monster, which she is not. I mean, these Rosemary players are so lethal. Rosemary could sometimes be an anti-looper killer, but she will eventually catch up. And just the fact alone that people just keep on B-wording on Rosemary, saying that she's just the worst monster, is diabolical. Like, she has abilities to freaking get her stamina. She has abilities to even drain your stamina fast. You cannot tell me how powerful Rosemary can be. And just the fact alone is just being by her is just a death sentence, if you ask me. But if you're number two, saying that the perks made some killers unfun and the worst, and you said that Jeff, I will have to honestly kind of agree on that with Jeff, because Jeff has many counters into him being the weakest character. Just Stefano energy bursts just make Jeff really escapable, but sometimes I feel like Jeff has an advantage. I mean, he has Tex with silent killer, I think that's the ability called. He can pretty much just kind of catch up to you, and it's to pretty much pressure the survivor. And I don't even need to say any other monster like Whist and etc. etc. Voidman says EXC is one of the easiest monsters to use. When you first use EXC, it gets kind of hard, but once you play as him, he's not too bad himself. But he's pretty much kind of map dependent depending on his trap range, because his trap range is not that big, but it's big for certain maps like Ward, T-Jock, Fazbear Fright, and all that. He's pretty much good on small maps that have tight corners that can be easily his win goal. If you're pretty much just by a trap and EXC is chasing you, you pretty much just might need to give it up, because EXC is an unbalanced killer in those types of maps. Bigger maps, he's pretty much just balanced, because there's really nothing you can do. Greedy YT says, oh, Forsaken is better. Loba says Samsonite's balanced. He just needs more stamina as a level 100 Uncle Samsonite. Now I do agree on that, simply because he runs out of stamina pretty quick since he's kind of slow and the player could easily just run away. I think probably 115 or 120 stamina would probably do the job against Uncle Samsonite. I really don't know, because outside of that, then I guess he'll be kind of a more fair foe to go against, because he's just way too balanced. Now you can make a character balanced, but just don't make them way too balanced to an extent. You want your killers to at least be OP in the game so they can have some good killing sufficiency. But if you have killers like Uncle Samsonite, then he's not gonna be as good as the other killers that can easily wipe lobbies in 10 seconds. So yeah, I do agree on your hot take. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, but Was Dindo says Rosemary pre-rework was a better design monster than after the rework. I honestly thought that they were talking about Rosemary's design, since Rosemary design did have a change, but he was actually talking about Rosemary's kit, her old design of her abilities with echolocation being where the survivors will make sounds and she's able to track them down, and demonic screech where you actually stand still, which feels more skill since you didn't have to like use it and run around like she is now in the current Pillar Chase 2. So I'll have to agree that Rosemary's old design was a lot better, because again, people were just calling Rosemary a bad monster, which she wasn't back then. I still think the old Rosemary was goated, regardless how unfair Rosemary could be. But Rosemary back then, I would definitely would like that. I don't know why Blade decided to rework her and listen to people, because people honestly just have no skill in this game at all. I mean, they don't even give monsters a try. Shoot, people were even B-wording on Vapor saying he was bad. But now we got people switching up. Johnny B. Gunner, aka level 1 noob quit gang, he said PCX would have been balanced if he lost his invisibility hit instead of his domain move in his first rework. Now I 100% agree on this, because everybody was just B-wording on PCX, obviously, since he was so unbalanced, and every single time he gives a rework, it would always either be Final Act, and then Final Act got changed into God Unbound and You Can't Run. I'm pretty sure it was more, but I really don't know. But he just kept on getting reworked, stamina change, jump change, everything. But there was nothing changed about Found You. Found You has always been the same ever since. Well, besides the end lag change, but you get what I mean. Like, I feel like his invisibility is what makes PCX a more unfair foe, because he could spawn on top of you and he could easily catch up, do his little damage, and then just kills you instantly. And then he could pretty much just use quote-unquote Final Act, God Unbound, and You Can't Run to get even more damage and also chase you if Final Act was still his actual ability. But if it's passive, I don't like Final Act to be a passive. I'm not good with ideas, but I think Final Act should be like PCX had like some type of ring or whatever, then he throws it at somebody, and then once somebody touches the ring that he threw at them, then they get teleported to his domain, and then they have to do like the obstacle and parkour and stuff like that. I think that should be something like that, but it's obviously just a niche and simple idea. I think Blade could probably come up with a better idea, and probably somebody else in the community. But I think Final Act shouldn't just be him just charging at you and he takes you. I think he should throw something at you in order for him to take you to his domain. I think it should be more of a skill check than just him just charging at you, because it doesn't feel that high of a skill ceiling. I think PCX should be more of a skilled character in terms of his speed and durability and mobility. Kaka Lucky Limes YT says it'll be cool if all monsters in PC2 have retro skins. Okay, skin question. I kind of agree on that. I think all monsters should honestly have their own unique little funny retro skins, because I think it'll be cool to wear instead of just each monster having their own retro skin. I think it'll be cool to see and the creativity behind the retro skins. I think Wisp retro skin is probably one of the best. I don't know. Some people kind of take Pixelated Springtrap too serious, but I don't think it's that bad. I just like Wisp a lot more better. But yeah, I do agree. Another upgrade question. Blue says upgrades are barely helpful besides energy burst because it's broken as free. Now you are right, but not to an extent. I think other abilities in PC2 are also powerful. I think break free is really underrated. I don't know how many people don't give break free credit. Break free, literally you can just annoy the killer. It's just your energy burst, but it's just a small duration of it, and you could lose the killer for a few seconds, and then you could probably find time to heal up or hide in a spot, and they'll probably go after somebody else. Invincible is also a pretty good one, but I don't really like it myself. It's pretty powerful, but I wouldn't say it's like the most powerful. But yeah, I do agree that energy burst is obviously the most powerful one, because you easily get away and people just use it every 2 seconds. Well, you made it to the end. I will definitely do more hot takes, but I'll need to get more and more people to do hot takes, so make sure to leave some hot takes down below in the comments if you wish to do so, and also join my Discord server if you want to do hot takes there, or you just want to join there to probably talk or whatever you want to do, whatever makes you feel comfortable. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video.